Hello, my name is Stephen, and today we are looking at Philippians chapter 2 and verse 15. And verse 15 is very closely linked with the verse we looked at yesterday, verse 14. So I'm going to read them both together, and then we're going to draw a couple of things out of it. So verse 14 says this: do all things without grumbling or questioning. And we looked at that yesterday together, but then it goes on to say this: that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God without blemish, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. We as believers, yes, we're told not to moan or complain because we're meant to be those who are trusting and prayerful in God. But when we are trusting and prayerful to God, it also leads to the fact that we can shine in the world like lights. And that's the one thing that we're instructed to do. We're meant to be those who make disciples, show people the goodness of the grace of God and the wonderful gospel message that we've been given. And we are all in the midst of a difficult world and a dark world, a crooked and twisted generation. And you don't need to read the news for very long to realize that really is the reality that we live in. That we see the fall happen in Genesis chapter 3, and we're still living in it. And we have a hope that it's all going to be wrapped up. We look at the other end of the Bible, look at Revelation. Jesus is going to come again, and that everything that is currently wrong will be made right. But in the midst of that, before we get to that, we are living in a troubled world with all kinds of trials and tribulations. And as Christians, we're not just to be those who hang on in the midst of that. We're meant to be those in the midst of it who shine like lights, shine like stars, bring hope to bear in this world, show people that Jesus makes a difference to our lives. And here in these verses, it shows us what can that look like? Well, one of the ways that it can look like is that we're those who don't moan and complain. And by that simple act of not moaning and complaining about the things in our lives, we can shine as lights to those around us. Can you think if in your workplace, what it would look like if you're one who just trustingly believe God in every situation that he can use it for your good and also use it for you to be good to others? It can be transformative. In your office culture, to say, hey, I'm not the one who moans and complains. Or maybe at university, you're the one who's not going to moan about the fact that the essay's coming up, or there's another deadline, or this lecture's been cancelled, or you're not going to moan about the fact that it was rainy on the way to wherever you were going. It changes things. And I know that's the case. I know in my life that when I'm good with God, I'm able to face the difficulties that come at me in a different way. That one, help my heart feel better and help me feel closer to God, but also is a benefit to those around me as well. Let me give you just an example from this last week. I was on a flight back to the UK, and I've been traveling in total for about 20 hours, and I got to the baggage carousel and my suitcase had not made it. And there's about 20 people I was with whose baggage had not made it from the connecting flight to our last flight. And so 20 of us had to go and line up at the baggage claim line. I just decided there and then, I had quite a good flight in lots of ways. I'd been there, I hadn't had children with me to look after on this particular occasion, and I was enjoying, eating and reading and watching films all by myself without any other distractions. It'd been quite a nice journey, really. But I definitely was good in God in that moment, and I just felt in God. I know I don't want to be moaning or complaining in this situation. I want to be grateful, one, that I'd had a safe journey, which I'd prayed for, and I want to be grateful for the time that I've had away, and I want to be a benefit to those around me. And so even in the queue, I decided, I wouldn't just leave my headphones on, just disappear into my own world. I just made conversation with those around me, and then when I got to the front of the queue and got to the desk, I decided with the desk clerk, I was going to be the best I could be with her. And I'm thinking, what a job. Her job is literally to just listen to people moan and complain at her all day long. People have lost their baggage, and people have been traveling for 20 hours or maybe more, who are no doubt tired and grumpy. I thought, I'm not going to be like with her. With her, I'm going to just show the love of Jesus. I didn't get the opportunity to talk about Jesus, but I did get to express the fact that just by being light and being kind, not grumbling about things, and just thanking her. And I really went out of my way to say, thank you so much for the job you're doing. And it must be hard being on this desk. And just seeing her countenance change from the time I reached the desk to the time I left. And just her saying thank you to me when I finished. I thought, I brought the fragrance of Christ to bear in that situation. I tell you that story not because I'm perfect at this. I often get it wrong. But it makes a difference to those around us when we are like that, choose to have a different attitude around difficult things that come at us. And I didn't get opportunity to then kind of link that to the gospel with her. But as we do that in our regular day-to-day life, we can say to God, please give me opportunities then to say, hey, Jesus is the reason for the way that I can just live in a content place. What does that look like for you today? I think this is a matter of prayer for all of us. Grumbling, complaining is such a temptation for all of us. And let's ask for God's help for today. Grace for when we get it wrong. And let's pray it also gives us opportunities to really shine like that for him today. Bless you and see you tomorrow.